I'm Peter Medine, professor of English at the University of Arizona, where I've taught since 1969. I've been associated with the College of Humanities Seminars program since 1997. During that time, I've taught 10 or so seminars. And this coming semester, the spring semester, on Thursday afternoons, I shall be offering a seminar in lyric poetry. By lyric poetry, I mean poems that are relatively short, poems that are in the first person, and poems whose subject matter is of a highly charged emotional nature. It's important to recognize that lyric poetry is not simply about romantic love, about ideals and beauty and so on. Much is quite realistic, indeed grim. The remarkable Welsh poet Dylan Thomas wrote a poem as his father was dying, the last days of his terminal illness. In fact, lyric poetry embraces a very wide range of topics and of themes. Love and death, certainly, but also war, politics, religious experience, and even poetry itself. The procedure in the seminar will be to read several poems each class meeting, to listen to them, and to look at the way that the poets put the poems together. By looking at the craft of poetry, we get a very good sense of the literal meaning of the poem, as well as the larger issues of poetic significance, of thematic implications, and so on. One point that will emerge from our discussion is the fact that lyric poetry approaches music. Whatever else lyric poetry is, it depends on rhythm, it depends on sound, it depends even on volume and pitch of sound. Goethe wrote that a lyric poem was never fully realized until it was set to music. And so each day of our meetings, we will conclude by looking at a couple of German poems with English translations that have been set to music. We'll analyze them, and then we'll listen to them being performed. In 1942, the British poet W.H. Auden wrote that poets make nothing happen. About 120 years before that, Shelley wrote that poets were the unacknowledged legislators of the world. I've vacillated between those two views of poetry for over 50 years, but I've never wavered in my conviction that humanity without poetry was inconceivable. Lyric poetry criticizes life, lyric poetry celebrates life, lyric poetry, above all, illuminates life. So if you have a passion for poetry, or if you'd simply like to learn a little more about it, I urge you to consider joining our seminar, the seminar in lyric poetry. It's a seminar, I think, that will both delight and instruct in the best Horatian sense. Thank you very much.